Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad you are here. My name is Mihaela Batavu, and I'm an English teacher and trainer working for EuroEd, Romania. Yes, Romania. And today, as part of the Tappeo project, just allow me to share the presentation. As part of the Tappeo project, which is Teacher Academy for Plurilingual Preschools, a path towards equal opportunities, we are going to explore how digital and AI tools can serve our youngest and most linguistically diverse learners. But before we start, I would like to ask you to write in chat a greeting like hello in your home language, in your native language, and also the country you come from. In this way, we will have, let's say, collective geographical range made right away. Romania, Spain, that's great. Latvia, thank you. Greece. Okay. Until we gather all the greetings, let's move on because we have only 1 hour to our disposition. So here's what we are going to do today. We start with a short, let's say, foundation block about plurilingualism, multilingualism, and translanguaging, and why identity matters in our classroom. Then we will move into the core for today. I mean, the AI and digital tools for audio and speech, for speaking and listening. We will see how we have to choose them and how we'll have to assess these AI and digital tools. We are going to talk about Vocaroo, Gemini, 11 Labs, HeyGen, and of course, also Book Creator and Suno, which will also help us bridge us to the next webinar for storytelling. And we will finish with integrated activities and a personal commitment. So by the time we finish today, you'll be able to identify tools that genuinely work in plurilingual settings. They are not just popular apps. There is a problem here. We have two main limitations. We are talking about preschool students who are, let's say, who cannot read, most of them, of course. And the other thing is that we are talking about plurilingual contexts. So it's not just one language or two languages. So when we choose an AI tool in our classroom, of course, we can relate to the language spoken and the AI tool that provides support for that language. But since we are talking now in general about AI and digital tools, we have to choose some other instruments. We'll have a framework, which is very important, a framework to evaluate every new tool that we encounter. Clear frameworks are very much used, but this clear framework was specifically designed for Tappeo project. And you will have at least one concrete activity to try next week. And you leave with a personal commitment. Speaking of the last one, build professional networks, this is what we already have here because you attended this webinar. And this is our first professional network. Now, I told you that you knew from the announcement that we will have some interactive activities. So I would ask you to take your phone and scan the QR code you can see on the screen. And it will take you to a Mentimeter in which you will have to write. You have 3 options. What languages are spoken in your classroom? I have to take you there. So this is where we are going to see the answers. You have 3 options. You can use all 3 or just one. And let's see the word cloud that we are going to create. If there is any problem, please write in chat and I will attend you. Okay. Here are the first languages: Ukrainian, English, Romanian. Let's see some more. Turkish. Russian. It's a wide variety of languages. Can I see some more? Nothing? We're going to come back to our word cloud, because we have to go back to our presentation. So the first part of theory, which is not going to be very difficult, but it will help us to understand how to choose our AI and digital tools for preschool children working in plurilingual environments. So we have to talk about 3 concepts, very important concepts: multilingualism, plurilingualism, and translanguaging. When we speak about multilingualism, we are talking about environment. I mean, the city, the school, the institution. So it's a societal perspective. It describes the situation where multiple languages exist. The languages are treated as separate entities. Like, think of a school that offers classes in 3 languages. That's multilingualism. This is the external world, the infrastructure, but it's not what drives learning. So we go to plurilingualism. By contrast, plurilingualism is what lives inside the learner. It's the full repertoire. I mean, every fragment of every language the child has ever encountered. Imagine a child who speaks Turkish at home, hears Romanian at school, watches cartoons in English, sings songs taught by, I don't know, Ukrainian grandmother. That child isn't confused at all. That child has a rich, integrated linguistic toolkit. So it's interesting to consider plurilingualism as a toolkit. And this is the framework we are working with. Every tool we discuss today is designed to activate and honor that toolkit and not suppress it. Okay, so the next one, I have to check from time to time if it's recording. Oh, I hope it is. Yes. Sorry. Translanguaging. Well, there's a practice called translanguaging. It looks like mixing languages. And you saw that in your classes. A child who says, who states a sentence, an utterance, okay, in which the subject is in one language, the predicate in a different language, and the child switches from one language to another in the same sentence. A child like this is not confused. Children who do that are using every resource available to communicate precisely. And translanguaging is a very, very advanced cognitive skill. So translanguage is a sign of competence and not deficiency. So this is where digital tools are particularly powerful here, because they can scaffold in the home language while introducing the school language, simultaneously. And this is my emotional part of teaching. So the identity. I want to make one thing very clear before we talk about apps and tools. When we acknowledge a child's home language, when we say that their language has a place in our classroom, two things happen. The stress level drops, and the children feel seen, which is very important. Because stress and learning, in my opinion and my experience, cannot coexist. If a child is anxious because they feel their language is wrong or shameful, no amount of pedagogical skill will break through that wall. The 4 principles you see, the right part of the screen, are not theory, they're practice. And they state that home languages are bridges and not barriers. And translanguages is that advanced cognitive skill. The silent period in which the child absorbs the new language is normal, however long it is. It allows, and we have to allow it, and we have to respect it. And comprehension always comes before production, always. So how does translanguaging actually look like in practice? So I used here 4 phases. Observe first. That means give the child time to watch and listen. Don't rush them. The silent period can last days or even weeks. And this is a healthy period. This is healthy language development and not a passive action. Second, understand. Comprehension precedes production. So first child understands and then it produces the language. In this way, we have to use images, gestures, and visual cues because we have to make meaning before we make words. Third, speak when ready. Never pressure the children. Celebrate every attempt, even the small mistakes, of course, regardless of the language. Fourth, and this is where the digital tools enter, use all languages. Tools like the ones we'll see today bridge the gaps, as we said, by scaffolding in the home language while simultaneously introducing the new language. Now, I would like you, again, to answer in the chat if you allow or actively allow home language use in your classrooms. Please say just yes or no. And let's see how many yeses and how many nos we can see in the chat. Yes, Guadalupe, thank you. Yes, perfect. Yes, a lot of yeses. That's great. So, if we talk about the effective plurilingual pedagogy, we have to take into account 6 principles. But I want to highlight just 3 of them, which I consider to be most important. The first one is movement, TPR, total physical response. Every new word should be connected to a physical action, especially at this age. Total physical response works across all languages because it bypasses the need for verbal production. Children can respond with their bodies before they can respond with their words. The second one, which I consider very important, especially at this age, repetition and ritual. And we are going to use this word repetition also when we prompt something into our AI tools. Children in plurilingual settings need predictable structures. A morning circle that runs the same way every day with the same songs and greetings is an anchor, linguistically, but also emotionally. And the third one is strategic pairing. What you have to do is intentionally place children from different language backgrounds together. Peer modeling, even from this age, builds both empathy, and language exposure simultaneously. And we have to go further with the evaluation of the AI tools, because it's not just picking a tool randomly. This is, as I stated before, a framework I designed specifically for Tappeo. Clear frameworks, as this names, clear frameworks, you can find them anywhere. But they stand for something different all the time. So the first one is that an app has to be culturally responsive. I mean, to represent diverse cultures authentically. They're language supportive. As I said, this is a general, let's say, presentation for AI and digital tools. So an app and a tool has to provide support for multiple languages, not just English. That's a problem. Engaging and interactive, especially at this age, it has to promote the tool has to promote active creation and not quite passive consumption. It's not a game children play. Accessible and equitable, this is a major problem because not all the tools are free or, I don't know, they are limitative. So we have also to take into account this. But if we fall in love with an app, we might consider a subscription if we can use it all the time. And reliable and safe, not only for this age, but especially for this age, we have to be very careful whether the app, the tool, is content age appropriate. And of course, we have to see if it's GDPR or data privacy certified. So every tool discussed today has been run through this filter, and I'll tell you, we'll see some scores we designed. So let's start finally with the first tool. It's not quite AI. It's called Vocaroo.com. I don't know how many of you have used it, but I would give it 5 stars on the Clear framework. And the reason is simple. You open it, press record your voice, and share the link. It's no account, no installation, no data stored permanently. It erases the data after 2 or 3 days. So that's why it's very safe with GDPR, even if we record our children's voices. I'm going to show you first how it looks like. And then I have to do like this. So Vocaroo looks like this. Very simple. As you can see, it's not login. Nothing. Just a button for recording. Of course, we can also upload another audio file, but we'll see why. Because if I press the button here for recording and say, hello, let's play it, and say, hello, it recorded everything. We can re-record whenever we want. But what's the most important, and we'll see also through the presentation, by clicking Save and Share, we have different options. We can copy the link and put it anywhere. We can generate a QR code, which can be placed, we'll see, as labels in the classroom. We can embed it in different websites, or later in Book Creator, we'll see that. Or we can download it like this as an MP3. Of course, we can also delete it. It's not a problem. So it's simple. And what can we do with this? We can record a greeting in each child's home language. Romanian, Finnish, Norwegian, Spanish, whatever, Greek, and play it every morning at a circle time. So the child who speaks a certain language, for instance, Romanian, hears Romanian. That's a belonging signal in the first 5 minutes of the day. Of course, we can also model phonemes, difficult ones, challenging ones, like the Romanian, also in other language, and a lot of language have challenging phonemes. We can use the recording for story read alouds, but we can also send the clip, the audio clip, to the family. So, another work for you. As you can see, you have the code, the QR code for Vocaroo. And I would kindly ask you to use your phone again and record your voice saying hello. Download the MP3 if you can, or just the link, or I don't know. And then if it's possible, upload it in the Zoom chat. It's a small assignment. It's fun and simple. Until then, we will move forward because we don't have much time. The next tool, well, everybody has heard, I suppose, about Gemini. Gemini, which is the Google's AI assistant. Of course, we have Gemini Live, but it works only on mobile devices. It could be used as, I couldn't prove anything here. I couldn't model anything here. But it can be used as a conversational tool with the children in different languages. But here, for the purpose of this webinar, I'm using it specifically as a text generation engine. I mean, not as a voice interaction tool, not as a conversational partner for the children, but as a script generator for educating. Here's what it does that nothing else does as efficiently. In 30 seconds, I can ask Gemini to write a short story. It can also translate the story in any language we want, or we can directly prompt the question in our language, or in what language we desire. I made a demonstration for you. So, I asked Gemini the following. Write a 4-sentence story about 2 children playing, for 4-year-olds, and keep the vocabulary very simple. Look at the prompt. It's very clear. It has to be very clear. I mean, the length of the story, 4 sentences, the age of the children, the target group, 4-year-olds, and keep the vocabulary very simple. So this is what my friend Gemini managed to produce. Leo and Mia run outside into the green grass. They throw a big blue ball back and forth. Leo laughs out loud when the dog catches the ball. Mia gives the happy puppy a big warm hug. But since the children cannot read the story, I asked Gemini to make a video after the script. So the first video is in English.
Run outside into the green grass.
Sorry.
They throw a.
Okay, again.
Leo and Mia run outside into the green grass. They throw a big blue ball. Leo laughs out loud when the dog catches the ball. Mia gives the happy puppy a big warm hug.
But I wanted to use it in my Romanian class. So I asked Gemini to translate the story into Romanian. I could have asked Gemini to write directly the story into Romanian, but maybe I need a bilingual version. We have the Romanian story here, and then I asked Gemini again to create a video after the story in Romanian. And Gemini is very nice and very kind.
Leo și Mia aleargă afară pe iarba verde. Ei aruncă o minge mare și albastră de la unul la altul. Leo râde tare când cățelușul prinde.
So we can do whatever we want with Gemini. It also helps us with this. What else can Gemini do? It can, of course, help us with lesson preparations by generating phonetic equivalents, vocabulary cards. I can ask Gemini to write a vocabulary list on the topic, let's say animals, for A0 learners across 5 languages. I can ask it to translate classroom instructions into every home in my classroom. And critical. Okay, once I have the text, I have 2 pathways. One you have already seen. But I can also feed the narration into next, we are going to see next tools, 11 Labs or HeyGen. But before we are going to come back to Gemini to see how it can be used with other 2 AI tools, 11 Labs and HeyGen. And also it can translate, as I said, classroom instructions, welcome signs, and everything we want to use in the classroom. The problem with almost all the AI tools is the GDPR point. So never enter identifiable child data into any AI tools. I mean, the educator is the professional decision maker. AI is a production assistant and not a pedagogical agent. The next tool I want to present to you is HeyGen, which is a video generator for plurilingual classrooms. As I said, we can write a story in Gemini. We paste the script into HeyGen and generate a professional AI video. HeyGen takes a script, any text, any language, and generates, as I said, professional video. But let's see how it works, because we also have something interesting here, an avatar, which is extremely useful. This is how HeyGen looks like. Of course, it is quite limitative because it has watermark and it works for a few videos. But if we find it very useful, we can consider a subscription. We can use avatars. As you can see, we can ask HeyGen directly here what to produce, what to create. A video, an avatar, anything. But we can also ask Gemini to produce a text, and we copy and paste it in HeyGen. So I asked Gemini again, as I said, to write a 10-sentence story for 4-year-olds about 2 forest friends who help each other. And again, keep the vocabulary very simple. It's a longer story because I wanted the video to be longer, so the children could remember more words, more vocabulary. So it's about 2 friends, a squirrel and a bear, who work together, help each other, so that they can collect an acorn. As I said, with avatars, what are avatars and why are they so important? Because young children respond to a consistent online narrative. So I'm going to, just a minute, my avatars. For instance, if you create a character, one is a woman, it looks like a teacher telling a story, a very warm, a nice, smiling person. The other one is a little child, a little girl. Well, I designed it for a Little Red Riding Hood story. These avatars can, let's say, they are synchronized to the text. Voice, mouth movement, facial expression. So the child connects to that because they respond to that consistent on-screen narrator. And I can use that avatar, that narrator all the time with different languages. So I can tell stories every day. The language can change, but the children can see familiar faces. Or I can choose not to use avatar. Let's watch what, this is how I asked Hey Jan to do the task. And this is what it produced. It's in Romanian, but most of the participants are Romanian. We can also, okay, I can't use any other subtitles. But let's.
Pip era o veveriță mică cu un vis mare, ghinda de aur din vârful marelui stejar. Dar vântul era mult prea puternic pentru o veveriță atât de mică. Bubu ursul a văzut necazul prietenei sale. El nu avea viteza lui Pip, dar avea altceva, înălțime. Lucrând împreună, au ajuns mai sus decât ar fi putut ajunge vreodată singuri. Mari sau mici, prietenii din pădure împart mereu recompensa. Big or small, forest friends always share the reward.
As you can see, we have the watermark. If we pay the subscription, of course, it's not, it doesn't appear, but I don't have the subscription yet. And we can also, I can also show you something different with the other avatar.
Hi there. Welcome to my favorite place in the whole world, the deep green forest. Look, there's my best friend, Pip the squirrel. He's always ready for an adventure. We spent the morning searching for the sweetest berries and listening to the birds sing. It really was a great day spent together. I can't wait for our next forest adventure.
We can use different voices if we want. So these are my voices, and these are Hey Jen library voices. As you can see, there is a description for each voice, so we can produce videos that will help our children feel more comfortable and learn better. The next tool I want to show you is 11 Labs, 11labs.io. Well, it is a TTS, a text-to-speech tool. It can be used in various ways, but for our purpose, it will be just like text-to-speech. 29 languages, over 1,000 voices, and which is more important, with emotional tone control and different accents. So the difference between 11 Labs and the robotic TTS built in most software is immediate and striking. In a plurilingual classroom, the most powerful use case is the character voices for stories. We can assign a distinct voice to each character, like, let's say, a Norwegian grandmother, an Italian baker, a Turkish sailor. Children can hear the same story narrated by multiple vocal personalities in multiple languages. So auditory diversity is scaffolding. We can also use it for phonemic demonstration. As I said, it's very difficult for children to learn those challenging phonemes. We can create a daily welcome announcement that greets children by language group. For instance, Romanian first, Finnish then, and afterwards Spanish. That takes just 5 minutes to produce one because we have to choose the voices. And we can play it every morning all year. Let's see how 11 Labs work. I used this text you already know, that with Leo and Mia, the two children playing outside on the grass. We introduced text-to-speech. Let me show you how it actually looked, the app. We have trending voices. We have all sorts of voices to choose from. A lot of templates, but this is the most important one, text-to-speech, because children cannot read, and we have to translate the text we produce into an audio file. We can use everything you want. So we have the settings. We can use the voice. As you can see, for the voice, we have the language. I chose Romanian. Accent, for the Romanian people, they can see Banat, Bucovina, so these are the regions. Category, it could be a conversation or a narrative piece. Gender, male, female, neutral, whatever. So I selected this voice. I can also select the speed of the voice. And generate speech.
Leo și Mia aleargă afară pe iarba verde. Ei aruncă o minge mare și albastră de la unul la altul. Leo râde tare când cățelușul prinde mingea. Mia îi oferă cățelușului fericit o îmbrățișare mare și caldă.
I consider it to be extremely useful for different purposes. And Suno. Suno is music as language bridge. Suno generates songs and chants from plain language prompts. You don't need to have any knowledge, musical knowledge. You can type whatever you want, and it produces a complete audio track in about 60 seconds. So the welcome chant prompt. So I can create a simple, happy welcome song for preschoolers that say welcome. I used one for Italian because I like Italian so much. And I asked Suno to create a song, a welcome song, using the word benvenuti for our children. It had to be, I can also use the music, the beat. Let's listen to it a little bit.
Ciao ciao, che gioia qui, entra piano, vieni qui, molli passi, occhi su, un sorriso, uno in...
There is another one. So it creates...
Ciao ciao, che gioia qui, entra piano.
In Suno, if we use that, it's a wonderful way to greet our students in class. So the welcome chant is absolutely captivating. The result that it's a genuine song. It has never been anywhere before, and the children memorize within a week. So it's the perfect way to make them repeat or remember the words in a fun way. We can also use it as a transition routine. So like short cleanup song with simple words, clean up, tidying, so the children can also learn the classroom instructions via or through songs. And well, when we have mastered or just tried these AI tools, we can go to Book Creator. Book Creator will also be used in the second seminar when we will talk about storytelling and reading for older students. But in this webinar, Book Creator is different, let's say, from everything else we've seen. So we can use it as a multilingual heritage book. Let's say the heritage, let's give you I'm going to give you some examples first, and then we'll see what Book Creator features can offer you. The Heritage Book Project works like this, for instance. It's an idea. Each child photographs an object from home, something that matters to their family. Then they caption it in their home language. The teacher or an AI tool adds the school language caption below. The child records a sentence about their drawing or their photo in their home language. So the digital tool, the digital book, plays both. School language text on the page, home language voice when you press play. We can also use another thing, class heritage book, with the names in our languages, So we can read it together at circle time every week. We can send it home. A book created through Book Creator, we can send it home. And this is the piece that makes the community tool. It's not just a classroom tool, because families can record additional sentences, can add up to the book the children have created, together with the teacher, of course. Grandparents, siblings, the book grows, languages accumulate. And let's see how Book Creator works. Well, let me show you first a blank one. So a new created book. This is how it looks like. It has several instruments. It's not AI. We can use the AI generated items like images, videos, texts, anything we have created with the aid of the other tools I have just presented, and add it here in Book Creator. By pressing plus, you can see the tools. Images, we can search from images or upload from our computer. Camera, I'm not going to use it because it opens the camera. Pen to write, and it's like any pen. Text, and we can also record ourselves here. We can also use the MP3, the audio files we have created via Level Labs or Vocaroo. But we can also save time if we want and record something here. We can use media because we have different templates if we don't want to create one ourselves. We can use shapes. We can use icons and files. And I told you in Vocaroo there was that, feature with embedded code. This is how it works. We have the embedded code, and we can put it here. And of course, there are some apps. And here we have the background. We have something else for comics. So we can add anything we want for the appearance of the book. And here is what I want to present. It's just the starting point, but it could be a very nice idea for creating a book in Book Creator. I thought of our class diary. The image was created using an AI tool, of course. Memories, friends, fun, and learning, our ear. This is the cover. And then we enter with welcome, something we do every day when meeting our children, or we can consider it welcome when they begin coming to, when we start a new level, a new class. Here we can record something, or we can upload the audio file we created. It can be there can be multiple audio files in different languages, so the children feel seen, cherished, let's say safe in their own environment. We can add each page with something else that happened in our classroom. Every activity, every, adventure can be added here. Of course, I didn't go further, this is how it looks like, our diary.
Welcome.
I said just welcome. And if I click on this icon here, you can see all the details about the book. The title, the author, the description. I made it public in order to be able to have the link or the QR code. And when we can read it online, or we can copy link, or we can generate the QR code and send it to the parents. They can also contribute to the book. It's an excellent way, and children can feel very much involved in the process. So far, we've seen the individual tools, and we used a little bit integrating activities for them. But now let's look at how they work together. So I designed 4 activities that can be implemented next week if you want. Each one uses tools you've just seen in combinations that reflect real classroom conditions. So the first one, my multilingual morning greeting. As you can see, we can use Suno AI because it's about songs. So what do we have to do? Using Suno, step 1, at circle time, each child shares good morning in their home language. You collect all those phrases. Step 2, you input them into Suno as song lyrics. Step 3, the AI generates a class greeting song, not longer than 2 or 3 minutes, which is personalized to your specific classroom language or languages. And speaking of personalized, this is something I overlooked to say. Why do we use AI tools? Everybody speaks about AI tools. It's such a fashionable topic nowadays. But in education, why do you think AI tools are so useful? Because they personalize. We can find a lot of resources on the net, but they are not for our children. We can use the tools I have presented, or many more others, to to make our working environment, our educational environment, more personal, according to our children's needs, our children's preferences. So that's great. This is why I am in favor of using AI tools with moderation, of course, and with a lot of, let's say, consideration for the ethics in education. And step 4, the song plays every morning. So children hear their language, and every day. This is a ritual. And ritual is one of the most powerful tools in plurilingual pedagogy. So the child who spoke Ukrainian or Arabic or Turkish hears these words sung back to them every morning. And that is inclusion made audible. It's extremely important and extremely appealing to our children. The next activity 2, talking object labels. We can use 11 labs or QR codes, also generated. We can generate it very easily in Vocaroo. We can upload an audio file and generate immediately the QR code. Step 2. So step 1, we have to choose first the classroom objects we want to label. It can be anything in the classroom: chair, window, book, door, table, ceiling, whatever. Difficult with the ceiling, obviously. Step 2, we generate audio files in 3 languages or more using 11 labs text-to-speech. Step 3, we attach QR codes to each. We can print the QR codes, laminate them, and attach them to each object, spoken naturally. Because step 4, a child can pick a tablet. I know the devices are not allowed in kindergarten, but we can have just one and share it. We can use it as shared among the children. So the child can pick up a tablet, scans the label for chair, and hears the word in different languages. Well, this is an ambient multilingual input. Sometimes it doesn't require teacher's presence, but it's difficult to be sure that the children won't use the tablet for other purposes. It can run during free play. The child who's curious scans. The child who is not ready doesn't do that, so it's not a problem. Differentiation built into environment. 3. Our bilingual class book, we already talked something about that. Introduce the project to the children in Book Creator. But it's interesting that each child can contribute with something they have produced, like drawing and word in school language. They will have to draw something and also say the word in the school language to practice. Of course, we can send the book to a teacher or a family member who can add the home language translations or and an audio recording. Step 4, the finished book is shared with all the families and displayed in the classroom. It's not a craft project. This is documentation of linguistic diversity. When a parent opens this book and hears their language on page 7, next to the child's drawing, I would say that that moment is worth more than any curriculum objective. As a bridge to the next seminar, AI Story Starter, we can use also the children with their ideas and inventivity. It's amazing to share story idea, the character, the place, the problem in any language. Step 2, the teacher inputs the idea into an AI tool, for instance, in Gemini, and asks for output in language 1 or language 2. Step 3, the AI, in our case, as we saw, Gemini, generates a story, but it's wonderful that the story started or was created with the contribution of the children. So let's say the Gemini generates the story, as I said. And step 4, the children illustrate the story, and well, it can be done collaboratively. So we are coming closer to the end, but it's important to review something we have mentioned today. 5 things to try tomorrow, not next month, tomorrow. Images before words. Before you introduce a new vocabulary, show the picture first, not the word, the image. Every child in the room processes that simultaneously, regardless of home language. Accept all languages. When a child responds in their language, accept it, repeat it, honor it. Then offer the school language equivalent, but not as a correction, as an addition. Use rhythm and chants. Pick one routine, let's say clean up, lining up, circle time, and add a short repeated phrase in 2 languages. Pair children strategically. Tomorrow morning, deliberately seat one child next to someone from a different language background. No instructions required, proximity does the work. And exaggerated gestures, as fun as or peculiar it may seem, but pick 5 vocabulary words and assign an exaggerated physical gesture to it. Every time you say the word, do the gesture. Every time. So visual scaffolding for every child, every language. And I want you to work again interactively, but I would like to spend some more time on that. It's a Padlet. Look at what we have covered today. Think about your classroom tomorrow morning. The specific children, the specific languages, the specific challenge you are facing right now. And I ask you to identify one small concrete thing you will do differently. So please scan the QR code, which will lead you to, I'm going to show you, which will lead you to, just a minute, to a Padlet. And please, right here, I will try one thing, just one thing you will actually do. And this is what we can share today. So please, a couple of minutes, please post something there. It's anonymous, but your ideas will help us build some more. Still waiting, maybe. Don't be shy. Nobody? Until we finish, so I can't see any posts here. Oh, great. I will try to be more respectful of everyone's background. It's amazing. Someone else? Nobody's going to post anything. It will be extremely useful for us. Or at least, if it's too much, okay, you can also use something different, even if which tool has caught your attention today in the presentation of today. I will try to use that one, so it would be easier for you. Great. Learn from the students just like they learn from me. Wonderful. I've always learned from the students. And it's amazing to see how creative and inventive. Exaggerate gestures even more. It's an excellent tool, even if, if you are not afraid of being mocked. But it's not. Children can understand it so well. So because we started at 5 minutes after the schedule. We'll wait 2 more minutes. To use the AI tools to make the class more interactive and friendly. Wow, great. Children love it. But you see, you also have to interfere or intervene in the output an AI tool creates, because sometimes it makes mistakes. You have to filter everything through your judgment and your expertise. The Padlet is open, so we can collect some other answers even later. It's not a problem. Well, questions and answers. Maybe next time. I mean, in the next seminar, we are also going to have a review. So thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to think differently about language in your classrooms. Everything we have discussed today, Vocaroo, Gemini, whatever, KGen, 11 Labs, they are not silver bullets. They are tools in a toolkit that is guided, as I said, by your professional judgment and your knowledge of your children. Thank you so much for everything.